All right, fine.
We're live
But,
for real this time.
all right, what is going on, my Degens? Welcome back to another Crypto Night School with myself, Jay Boogie, Canucks, and Professor Sticks. Nothing we say on this live stream is financial advice. It is all opinion based or factual, depending on the events that we're talking about. Uh, Courtney, how you doing, my guy? Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm feeling excellent because nothing that I say is nothing that I say is financial advice. So, that's a big weight off my shoulders. It's just I'm just here for the education and the laughs and the crypto and the Bitcoin and the money and all that good stuff, man. I'm here to get it. What's up, man? Today's the day. Jimmy, what's up?
I'm just a content creator. I hit the go live button and I kind of messed up on that earlier. So that's my mess up for today. You don't mess up by listening to anything that we say as financial advice. Do your own research, get that Dior, do your own research, and let's get into it. Let's have some fun by jumping into the market and seeing what the trends are. What's things been saying?
Look,
I looked at it earlier. I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, man. In the last week, hasn't been that pretty. All right. In the last 7 days, let's look at it. The total crypto market cap is up 1.2%, but it's still under 2 trillion. Over the last 7 days, we just had the Bitcoin conference. All right. And now this is a tradition. Every year, the Bitcoin conference happens. And I don't know what this is. It's some kind of phenomenon. Bitcoin dumps every time there's a Bitcoin conference. All right. I don't know if it's just bad news, good news, people getting too excited, spending all their Bitcoin, whatever it is. Bitcoin's down 12.5% on the last 7 days. And usually Bitcoin leads the market. So Bitcoin's down. You got Ether down 11%, BNB, XRP, Solana. And, Terra was the story of the week last week. It was up probably a little too extended. Now it's down 28%. If you can't stand these kind of swings, you shouldn't be in crypto in the first place. That's why we think long term. You got Avalanche, Polkadot. Most stuff is down on the week, but there is one lone bright spot for you doggy coin holders, you super degenerates who got something real risky in your bag. They have broke news that Shiba Inu, SHIB, the beloved dog coin, is potentially going to be listed on Robinhood, which is a free trading platform that's available to our US friends. And so we can see the number 15 cryptocurrency, Shiba Inu, is actually up 20% in the last 24 hours. Look at that chart. That is something ridiculous. But overall, most stuff is down double digits, and that's what we can come to expect. It's been a tough quarter to start the year, but we're in it for the long haul, man. So we're not easily phased by it.
Yes, sir.
No, I was on Twitter Spaces today, and this relates to the market because you know how all the coins fluctuate based off of Bitcoin. Basically, you can see that they follow the same chart patterns. Somebody was saying that Bored Apes is that for the NFT space. If Bored Apes are down, then most of the NFT space is down. So, like, what do you guys think? Do you think there's some truth to that?
I wouldn't disagree because it's not that you can't completely separate the NFTs from each other,
Yeah.
but some of them are going to be a lot more illiquid than others. So the values wouldn't change as quickly. And as that said, the ones that are in most demand are probably going to be the most liquid, meaning that if prices change, if sentiments change, the ones that most people want are going to be closest tied to represent like the feeling of the market, and everything else is going to like watch that to see what's the temperature, what's the heat check. So if Bored Apes start dropping, I think people will start getting a little panicked, or if Ether drops, right? That might mean that they're repricing the asset. So in true dollar terms, maybe the ETH value would go up, but in dollar terms, it's staying the same, right? So you can have more Ether tokens to buy the same amount of dollars to get a Bored Ape, so it might move inverse to the actual crypto markets. It's one of these things. I don't treat NFTs as having up and down. I either flip them or I hold them. You can't, if you trade them, you're a different beast. You got a whole different type. Do you look at NFT charts? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, OpenSea, you can see like the top trending, like it's the same. I think it's like the same, like 4 hour, 24 hour, whatever. You can see like the top trending, how many people are purchasing. Like it's wild.
But isn't it more risky to buy NFTs than to buy crypto, because you might list an NFT and you will be waiting days and weeks for somebody to fill your order, whereas like crypto is pretty much you're going to a DEX, you're going to an automated machine that'll fill your order automatically no matter what.
Yeah.
So I mean that's something for you. If you really want to trade, yes, I think there's super gains to be made in NFTs. I was trying to make some gains just today, but sometimes the market has a different plan.
Yeah, I personally can't. I could, honestly, I'm built for the flipping. I could do it if I was in front of my computer all day, but I'm not, and it's just the reality. Like I'll be in like these, I've been joining a lot of these alpha groups on Twitter, so I can like stay up to date with projects for the podcast and stuff. And man, these dudes are talking about like I was up at 5 a.m. and I bought this NFT at 008 and now it's at 06 and I made some money, and I'm like, dude, like you need to sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
do they need to sleep though?
They don't.
For now, you could sacrifice it for, hey, look, if I could make $1,000 a day by staying up early,
it's facts.
I
It's
might.
facts. But I mean, while we're on the topic of NFTs, guess I'll kind of drop a little bit of news, like projects that I'm looking at, some that I am invested in, some that I'm not invested in, ones that kind of popped off a bit this week. Just from off the top of my head, I know I think it's called Los Muertos. They had a big week. Yeah, they had a big week. They're like the colorful kind of like is that like Mexican culture, Mexican art? Yeah, like it's a Mexican.
And they look like they got tattoos.
Yeah. So those did well. Feline Fiends, those did well, and so did a project called Space Riders. During their mint, they had a whole bunch of FUD, and there was different things that were going on. And they recently like popped off because they have like about like 50,000 people on Twitter. They have a bunch of people in their Discord. So it was one of those projects that were kind of dormant, and then it just took off. So right now their floor is at 0.1, and there's 584 ETH trade volume. The collection is about it says 8,890. And then the amount of holders are about 3,500, give or take, or so 3,500. Sorry.
So there's like almost 50%, like about 40% distribution.
Yeah. So, and did you ever see like the Lazy Lions community on Twitter?
I mean, I've seen them. I wasn't particularly attracted to what they were doing.
So Jimmy said no. Oh, are you talking about like their spam, as far as like you say Lazy Lions and they just come out of nowhere?
Yeah, like isn't that weird to you? Like it makes you hate like certain aspects of Twitter. Like,
well, okay,
retweet this.
So Space Riders, the community is that strong. Like they're so similar to Lazy Lions as far as like Jimmy, you say Lazy Lions 3 times and they're coming. Like,
oh, they flood you.
Wild, like it's crazy. So I personally own a Space Rider.
What does it look like? Does it look like a horse? Like a horse?
Can I share my screen? I don't think I can share my screen.
Share it if you got something like proud to share now. Don't come on here with anything crazy.
Yo, make sure we like the video, people. We got 4 people chilling right now. Yo, please like the video.
Please hit the
yes,
like.
Let me get sharing privileges.
4 likes.
I got you. My bad.
Let JB share his NFT, bro.
Yeah, bro. Come on now.
My bad. There you go.
Hope everybody's night is blessed right now.
Yeah, and
vibing with us.
So this is my Space Rider.
This
Okay.
dude looks like, first of all, he needs sleep and he needs a nicotine patch. What you got going on?
What you mean? You go to the collection.
I respect how you got night mode on, though.
You feel me, dog? I gotta keep my eyes fresh. So it dropped a little bit, but yeah, there's just different.
You know what? These aren't. I
They're
mean,
not
I
bad.
wouldn't
They're
buy
not
one,
bad.
but they're not bad.
You
Still,
know what I mean?
compared to a lot
Especially
of
if you
stuff
got
that's out
in
there.
low. I got in at like, well, so I sold one and then I got back in. So I actually got in around I think 0.08. So yeah, there's that, and then what's the low?
Yo, wait, before you go. I was gonna say one thing, and I'm not a NFT expert. I more your route, but close that search box for a sec.
Close it.
Yeah, I just want to look at the statistics. You see the percentage of how many people are own it compared to the number of items in the collection.
Mhm.
If the owners is way too low, that's generally an indication that there's a couple wallets that have all
A
of the
bunch.
NFTs.
Yeah.
And so if the price ever does go up, they're going to be dumping on you because they have so many. So you want to see a more even distribution here. That's going to let you know that it's more equally spread out, and that if the price rises, people, yeah, of course, there's always going to be people who sell and they have their price, but if it's more evenly spread out, there's going to be people who are going to hold for the longer term.
Yeah, and that's when I usually get out of a project if it's like too. Those are the ones that I try and flip when they're pumping, because I don't want to be the exit liquidity for anybody. So
It's not a great feeling at all.
no. And then these are the Los Mortes.
Muertos.
Oh, these are
Mortos.
nice. I like these.
Yeah, see, Jimmy. But Jimmy, do you like that price?
Hell no. Hell no. I like it as I'm more of like the type that goes to the museum, right? Y'all brought the museum to the internet. So like I'm like, all right, this looks nice.
Yeah, dog. And then what else? I had
But look at that one. That's over 50%. You
that's
see,
beautiful.
that's over 50% ownership. And man, and then wait, hit activity. Let's like I want to see how we analyze these, right? Over the last little while, you're seeing, first of all, you're seeing frequent purchases, right? 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. And the prices pretty steady, about 5, up a little higher. It might be coming down, but it's more or less. It's more
Honestly,
or less.
I like when people are buying above the floor. Like that makes me confident. You know what I mean? When I see that, I'm like, okay, like they believe in this.
Right.
And this is another one that I've been looking at. This one was huge. I think like a couple months ago, the sevens. So it's kind of like that, a little bit of like an anime type art, and they're
It's kind of like an Azuki knockoff.
no, they were before Azuki.
Wow.
Yeah, but so they had they were hyped up a lot too. They had a whole bunch of people, like their Discord was crazy. It was crazy to get into. Like everybody had access to the Discord. But so many people were trying to join in at the same time that like they like broke Discord basically. And then I think something happened during the mint to where someone ended up with a whole bunch of them and everybody was calling it a scam and a rug, but the team's still been building. One of the things on their roadmap is they want to make their own anime show that's supposedly supposed to be on Netflix, I think, in the future. I don't know if
I believe it when I see it, but
yeah,
I'll just say these are pretty creative though.
Yeah, so
I can see some of the nods to anime, you know, like the Luffy hat, the Ambu masks. That's pretty lit still.
And these are still getting bought up too. And I think they just had their second drop recently as well. So I don't own I don't own that one. I don't own Los Muertos, but those are ones that I would buy if I was able to. And this one is a sleeper that I'm looking at. The art is whatever, but I feel like these are like the type of projects that might take off potentially in this space.
To me, this is a knockoff of Doodles.
And that's what I'm saying though. But look at how many knockoffs of everything we've seen so far. But this is what is kind of messing with me. And then
I think the market is looking at this and saying, hey, can we flip this?
yeah. So
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it because when a project like Doodles comes out, like even look at this color palette, it's the same color palette.
yeah.
Or like maybe similar to like the color palette of Invisible Friends.
I think it's like a combination of like that kind of like potential kitty vibe and like the color of Doodles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but if you just wanted to degen,
Man, I feel like in this industry, there's so much copycat.
yeah.
Like literally, they have a whole thing called derivatives, and maybe it's some people's flavor. Like some people, they get the rights to certain artwork, and then they remix it and they put their own touch on it, and it becomes something completely new, and it looks cool. Other people barely modify it at all, and then just put out something that's like something apes, something punks, something, you know what I'm saying? It's like literally a cookie cutter
There's
garbage. I hate it. I hate to see it. It's a disrespect to art and to the whole industry. I think those are the ones that you can count on going to zero.
there's legit a project called OX Apes, and all they did was take the Bored Apes image and put a yellow background on the back and sold it. And the people that would buy knockoff Air Forces, knockoff J's, those guys are buying up that project, and the floor is actually up. Like people profited from this just by switching the black background, and people are like, "What? It's art. It's a community," and it's just
No,
like,
it's
come on,
garbage.
man.
It's a buffale.
Yeah.
That's what we would call
Yeah,
it. Yo,
I'm sure more people took an L than profit though.
they might have. They might have
More-
if somebody got in early.
Yeah, and there's someone on the other side of every trade, right? You got to remember that too. I want to talk about this project. This project came out today, or I should say,
Pain.
yeah, man. Yo, shout out to Mark from MegaKongs. We interviewed him, one of the first people we talked to on the show. They had one of the most successful projects on Stacks blockchain, and they just had their fourth drop. They had Megapont, they had the Robot Factory, Wasteland Apes, which was a collab with Project Indigo, and then they finally hit Ethereum. They did a whitelist drop for the first like 5,500, and then they had 500 for a public mint, sold out literally in less than 15 seconds. The first block was full. Like, do you understand how ridiculous that was? The first block was full. I was there. I put in 4 transactions, and then went through. But it's all love, man. The art, this is pure generative, man. This is they got customs in there, 84 customs.
The
like
art
one
is
of ones.
sick. It's
But-
so
Yeah.
sick.
I
Like, the
gotta give them
detail.
credit, man. Like this is fire. And
The
Megapont
guy with the
team,
dreads.
they've been delivering for so long. That's like hard not to bet on Mark, man. He got a team full of some monsters. The people, the code they write, like they produce something called Apes Together, which is literally a developer kit, and you can get Discord bots and generative backends to make your art mix and
Tools.
all different kinds of stuff that they build. Like they're actually tech guys, so it's awesome to see what they put together, man. So hats off to them. Salute. I'm kind of cheesed that I didn't get in on this one, but I'll be cheering for them regardless.
100%. I think like a lot of the Ethereum community is gonna like be surprised about like what MegaKongs does, but like everybody who's been in the Stacks community knows their reputation, know that these guys deliver. Super innovative
They
team.
minted at 0.05 and they're already at half a ETH.
Ridiculous.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They ain't playing no games.
But shoot, I think like since we missed that, me and Courtney were up early, bro. I was up at 7, actually 6:30, just to try and get one. Jimmy and I didn't get one, so started off my day with an L, and so I'm a loser. So segue into loser club, right?
Hey, never cool, never alone, man.
let me just say this, like loser club, I think personally is super undervalued. I think they're sitting around like 0.27, 0.3. Once again, this is not financial advice. Super undervalued. And I say this because like a lot of people say community, right? Community is what I look for. That's all loser club has right now. community and dope art, they've literally done nothing. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. They've done nothing, and they're sitting at 0.3, right? They had like a couple, they had Kyrie buy 8 this week, which kind of, gave the floor a little bit of a boost. But like this project can literally do so many different things right now with how strong the community is, and the community is literally like carrying this project as far as like they're so creative. And I mean, Javon alone is he's a genius. I'm gonna just say that, like, he's a creative genius. And I think like whatever they come out with, once they do, it's gonna really solidify the project. And I feel like it's gonna be one of those ones that is gonna like be one of the most known projects in the NFT space.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right here for the visual. But yeah, man, I mean, this is just their Twitter page, but this is A11 even, or I guess whatever. That's Kyrie. He got some cold ones. There's a lot of people in here, but yeah, we spoke on Loser Club earlier. It's cool because sometimes Javon, who's the artist behind it, he goes on Twitch. He'll just pop up. He'll do a draw session. They drew this one live on the spot. He was just asking people. He's like, if you could make a custom loser, what do it look like? And people are just throwing out traits and personalities and stuff. And he drew this, and he does that on a regular. He calls it going rogue. And then they just raffle them off to people who are already holding. You know what I'm saying? It. As a way to just reward those who are already in the group. Look at this. This is the Chinese community. Like, there's different sub factions. They drew one of Drizzy. Like, that's cold. And he's animated art before, so it's not like he just draws. He makes his own music and all those things. So he's done like his own anime, a whole bunch of stuff. So I think the possibilities are endless. I'm excited about it. But yeah, that's definitely one that I don't see myself selling anytime soon. Not necessarily saying that y'all should buy one. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I'm excited about it. Look at this. All kind of stuff.
It's the originality for me. It's just like, when you look at Bored Apes, there's no Bored Apes without the people in the community that were doing dope stuff. You know what I mean? Or promoting it or talking about it. And that was what got us into the project in the first place. Like, randomly going into a Twitter space and everybody was like pouring their hearts out about how much they felt like they were part of something. And I remember me and Courtney were talking, we're just like, yo, like, for some reason I feel like buying this, and ended up getting it. You know what I mean? So but then, like, another project, and I know we're on NFTs too long, so just wrap it up with this. Super excited about Bitcoin Monkeys. They've been teasing the chamber button. Professor Sticks, I don't know if you saw that, but I think the mutant Bitcoin monkeys are coming, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that coin, yo. I'm excited for that coin. I seen that coin in the announcement. I'm like, what does that do? I need to figure out what that does right there. So I'm excited for that.
We got to put a whole episode together for that one. We probably got to get Tote Monkey on here, the founder, Token SS. But
let's do that.
Let's make it happen. Jimmy, what's popping in the world of play to earn, man?
I mean, there's a big announcement that's got everybody excited. Epic Games raised $2 billion. And if you don't know who Epic Games is, you've been under a rock. They created one of the most popular games ever, Fortnite, which literally like changed the way the gaming industry operated, with microtransactions, battle royale game style, free to play. Listen, free to play was literally pioneered from Fortnite. And so when you're talking about a company that really changed the way games are for regular gamers, when you hear they raised $2 billion, $1 billion from Sony and $1 billion from Kirby, which is the company that owns Lego, you're just like, yo, what do mans have planned? What do mans have planned? So really short and sweet, I'm going to say that don't get too excited about like NFT games and stuff like that. More so focus on the metaverse and the experiences that we can have in the metaverse, because I think Epic Games right now is not necessarily focused on NFTs. They've never mentioned anything about NFTs. They're not going to release an NFT in Fortnite or like NFT skins or anything like that. But what they are going to do is continue to build on what they are so successful at, and that is delivering experiences. What game have you guys played that Travis Scott had a concert in?
Yeah,
That was groundbreaking because think about it. People were tuning into a game to watch something instead of tuning into a game or turning on a game to play something. And usually you play a game whenever you want, wherever your friends are on. But the very first time that I realized that Fortnite had cracked the code was that when they were transitioning from the very first world into like the second world, and they're like, yo, come at this time, and like a meteor is going to hit the planet or something like that. And if you're in the game at this time, you're going to get to see the meteor hit the planet. And like everybody logged in at like whatever time it was. It became almost, it wasn't a game at that point. It was just a virtual world that we were all in, where you could run around and look at each other and experience something together. That was a tipping point for me. And I wasn't even in crypto at that time. Now I'm thinking, is that not metaverse? Like, tell me, is that not metaverse?
That pretty much is the metaverse.
Yeah.
Like the stories that they tell, the characters that they've already brought into their stories on Fortnite. One thing that I didn't know that actually shocked me and that made the $2 billion investment even more interesting. Epic Games developed Unreal Engine. Not a lot of people know that.
Really?
Yes.
And so Unreal Engine, explain that.
Unreal Engine is a software that actually people use to build games. So Unreal Engine 5 just got announced last week by Epic Games. And if you guys know The Matrix, I don't know if you guys have ever played the Matrix games, or I mean, watched the Matrix movie.
Games.
Obviously, if you watch that, but if you've ever like imagine what a game would be like. Let's see. I'm gonna share this link. Can one of you guys just use it real quick to I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Let's play that video.
Jimmy, did you play the Matrix game?
I didn't play the new one for PS5.
What about the one that was on like Xbox?
Yeah. I played that.
One was fire.
That was fire. And that's like, oh man, those are classic games, bro. We'll never be able to get those
They
again.
need to bring that back.
Real talk, bro.
Let me play this video for you real quick.
Like, watch this and then tell me like, nah, just watch it. Just watch it.
Hold on. Let me make sure this, sometimes you share the screen. It's not optimized for video. Let me just, I don't want to mess this up. Let me.
Yeah, you got to share your audio too. Remember that.
To be honest, the audio is not even that big of a deal. The visuals is what I want. The visuals is what I want man to watch, because you're gonna be so mind blown. And if you guys haven't seen this, then I definitely want to see your reactions. Let me I'm gonna make this bigger so we can see everybody's reaction. This is fair use, by the way. This is it's already on the internet. It's already on YouTube.
Don't come for us, please. Anybody seen the new Matrix?
Is this a video game?
This is a demo.
Have you guys seen the new Matrix?
No, I didn't watch it. I heard it was ruining it for you.
Trash. Don't go see it.
Man, that's tough.
Like many of you, I work with computers. I like the freedom I feel outside the limitations of the real world. But
This is the original movie, fam.
Reflecting back who and what we are and the choices we make, the worlds we build. They also confront us with questions about why we want to choose this over that. Why we want to make X instead of Y. Where do ideas of who we are and what we want even come from?
You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This isn't real.
What is real?
How do you define real?
For instance, I'm not even sure why I'm here. I remember waking up and thinking that I'm supposed to come here. That it was important for me to ask people, how do we know what is real? Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves. Over 20 years ago, I first played the character Thomas Anderson in the Matrix trilogy. Those films pioneered digital cinema with shots like bullet time. Back then, we talked a lot about where the digital age might take cinema and narrative. In an industry where actors have tried to remain perpetually young, we wondered about digital faces become immortal.
Stop this.
Hi, I'm Carrie Ann Moss, and I played Trinity in the Matrix films. 20 years ago, we asked ourselves how long it would be before faces and bodies could be changed as easily as we change clothes.
We wondered, what would identity mean in a completely digital world?
And what would reality mean when a world we can build feels as real as our own?
All right, so
This is Unreal Engine.
this is Unreal Engine. All right, so pause that real quick. This is Unreal Engine. This was completely built on Unreal Engine that can play on a PS5 and an Xbox series or whatever the new one's called. This is what Epic Games has been building, and they just announced this last week. So Unreal Engine 5, that was built with Unreal Engine 5. I need you to understand that the virtual reality world that we're going to be in is going to look identical to our real world. Like, we're not going to be able to tell the difference. The only way we'll be able to tell the difference is because we're plugged in. We're like, yeah, I remember putting on my headphones. But if you stay too long, maybe you might not remember. So
Like that.
So like, I need you to understand that when $2 billion is invested by Sony and Lego to build a kid-friendly metaverse, like Lego, come on, they've already been in kid-friendly entertainment for decades, almost a century. And Sony has been investing a ton of money into VR. They actually invested in Epic Games in 2020, 250 million. And then in 2021, they invested another 200 million. And then they completely doubled down and said, yo, here's a Billy. So this is a big play. It's a big play in the VR space, and I think that's going to be a huge play when it comes to the metaverse. And it's kind of funny because like Unity Software is a competitor of Epic Games. They have money, but they built Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is huge in AR, and so with Epic Games going after VR, the metaverse is going to be a very interesting place. It's been a very interesting place, especially if you can make things that look as real as what Unreal Engine 5 can do. Who knows what Unreal Engine 6 can do? You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be very interesting.
That's exciting. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember going to a place called Legoland at Ontario Place in Toronto when I was a little kid. And the VR that they had at that time, you could play Mario Brothers on this VR headset. This must have been late 90s. All right. Like early 2000s as a stretch. Like I believe it was late 90s. You put on this big ass headset and it was all red, like dark red and light red, kind of like, I don't even know, kind of like how infrared looks, but instead of green, it was just red, different shades of red. And that was the VR that they had at the time. So when you say these brands, Sony, Lego, Unreal, the synergy of those, these aren't people who just heard about a trend and are hopping on. Like these are truly the people who created most of our childhood experiences with like fun and toys and games. Sony PlayStation, like you know what I'm saying? They made Resident Evil. They scared the crap out of you with 32-bit graphics. You know, they made Devil May Cry, games where you're finally battling like demons that are 3D and you're running circles around them trying to fit. Like they're smart. They make amazing games, amazing experiences. I can't wait to be fully submerged. Please hit the like
Man,
Are you
button.
sure you're ready
Yeah.
for that?
Please hit the like button.
I think
for
it's
me.
gonna be crazy because like people are already super submerged in like Fortnite, and you're using a controller and a mouse and keyboard. Imagine when you're plugged in, bro. Some people are not gonna want to unplug. And then
And
you
that's
bring
the scary part.
then you bring things like, because you were talking about Genie earlier, you bring stuff like that, and you have custom, like, what's the question might be, why be in the real world when you can literally create anything you want in the metaverse?
Just think about this though. If you're not able to separate the metaverse from the real world, that's gonna do something. That's gonna do some things to your mental health. Like when I plug into this place and I'm rich, I got all these cars, everybody knows me, and then like say I come out of that and I'm just a regular person, people aren't gonna want to leave.
That's already how social media is, fam. Like,
It
And you
is.
see what it does. Mental health is freaking
think about people
ridiculous.
who have a profile on Twitter that has X amount of followers because they troll and they post memes and they have this whole other persona. I literally saw a guy like, and I'm not talking down on him, but he's like a very popular Ethereum guy. I think his name is like Sassel or something like that. He's like a very popular Ethereum guy. The other day he posted and he said like, my biggest fear is that I become irrelevant. So obviously the social clout means a lot to some people because that's where their identity lays, right? And so whether it be I'm known for what I post, or I'm known for being the best Madden player in the world, or I'm known for posting 6 live streams of me playing first person shooter or whatever, that stuff's always existed. We're really just looking for validation.
Yeah.
I think the internet has a lot of benefits though, because man, some people don't have access to like in real life friends that are into the same stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we've been seeing it in our Discord, right? Like people are coming in and say like, I've had nobody to talk to about NFTs,
Mhm.
and we're talking to somebody from Australia about NFTs. I've never been to Australia in my life.
shout out
Yeah.
to the Aussies, shout out to the Kiwis, shout out to everybody who's on that crazy time zone where you're a day ahead of us. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's going to be pros and cons to all types of technology that comes out. But for the most part, as human beings, we always figure out how to keep surviving and how to keep moving forward. And so we hope that, like when you're talking about mental health, we hope that maybe there's more helpful resources available because of the metaverse, and therapy becomes more accessible, and, vacations become more accessible. Things to escape the realities of that do make people like crumble. Maybe that becomes more accessible due to the metaverse, due to, bro, sometimes we're thinking like we're mentally in these places, but you don't know, these things can like make us physically be in these places. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be an interesting time, but let's talk about blockchain technology and like how it actually has some more positives, because I know we can go on forever. And I know Courtney's got some things that he wants to talk about, get off his chest.
Yeah, man, I got a few things, and I'm gonna lead with some news, and then I want also with like each news point, I want to talk about how it relates to like everyday life, because there's definitely two kinds of people, right? There's the people who, I'd say there's probably more than two, but generally speaking, there's people who just are about number going up, whether it be NFTs, crypto, Bitcoin, whatever, and then there's other people who are, yes, number go up, like duh, it's money, right? Like who doesn't want money? But like the technology and the real life application of the things that we're doing is fascinating, and that's what allows people to stay in it for the long run. So I'm gonna start here. Tesla, always in the news, right? But Tesla Block, which is like the parent company of Square, formerly known as Square, Tesla Block and Blockstream are collaborating to build out a 100% renewable energy Bitcoin mining facility in Texas. Now, you might say, okay, cool. Why is that important? Texas is one of the most unique energy places in all of the United States. They have a whole lot of sun and a whole lot of wind. But much of where this energy exists, this renewable energy exists, it's semi inaccessible, like it's far away from where the main infrastructure is, right? Or it's far away from where the energy has to get to power stuff. And they have a lot of energy already as it is. So in order to build out new infrastructure, there needs to be some kind of incentive. Otherwise, it's a waste of money. Like they already have an excessive amount of energy, more than stable enough. In fact, Texas, we already know that Texas is kind of, they move like they're ready to break off from the United States in case anything bad happens already, right? They have their own energy grid that's independent than the rest of the country. So like energy is what they do. And for that reason, they're trending towards being the international home for Bitcoin mining. So no more place that's more appropriate to set up shop for 100% renewable. Tesla, they make batteries, right? And Square, they're the company who's got Jack Dorsey at the helm. Jack Dorsey is a very famous Bitcoiner, and he recently stepped down from Twitter to focus on Bitcoin. So the reason why they want to build a 100% renewable thing is to prove to the world that Bitcoin can be used to bootstrap the production of green energy. So I'm just give you a couple numbers to explain why they're not going to just do this and build out solar arrays and stuff as it is. West Texas, they have right now 34 gigawatts of power. Now, when I think what the hell is a gigawatt, I just think of like gigabyte versus a megabyte, right? Like a gigabyte is bigger than a megabyte. You know what I mean? And a terabyte is bigger than a gigabyte, right? So I just think about USB sticks. That's how I figure it out. So they got 34 gigawatts of power. That's what they already got existing. They got power lines to move 12 gigawatts. So much less. And they only have a demand for 5 gigawatts. Okay. So right now they're already doing great. And the reason why you have to have an excess is because like if you just made exactly enough energy for however much you needed, then if I turned on my laptop, everything would just turn off. It would blow out, right? That little bit of extra power would blow it out. So they need to have extra, but they already have so much extra. They don't want to build more because it's going to be expensive unless you can bring Bitcoin mines to the place where you're building this new stuff, set it up, and that energy that they can capture, they can turn into money. So they're going to do this, and they're going to set up a public dashboard so everybody can watch and see how much energy they're using, how much sunlight they're getting, how much Bitcoin they're producing. And it's going to be 100% renewable, and it's going to pay itself off within like the first year. So if they do this and it works, it's going to be a huge killer of all of that FUD that says that Bitcoin consumes too much energy, because people just get the headlines of like Bitcoin consumes energy. But like people, we got to think about, where does the energy come from? If the energy came from the sun, is Bitcoin consuming energy a bad thing? No, it might just actually allow your jurisdiction where you live to build out more renewable energy and make that renewable energy profitable until there's enough of it to find a way to get that tapped into the grid. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a very interesting development because, you know, nobody has done this yet. Nobody has built out at scale 100% renewable Bitcoin mines on an industrial level. You know what I mean? It just hasn't been done. So I think Tesla's, their battery pack technology with Square, who's been saying they wanted to get into mining and probably buying a lot of these miners from Intel, which is a domestic company who's producing Bitcoin mines in an industry that's traditionally ran by the Asian companies. They got a chokehold on it. They're bringing this stuff into America. I mean, it's pretty interesting stuff, but I don't know. What do you guys think about Bitcoin mining in terms of, you know, all of the negatives that people talk about it? Do you think that's something that's just going to be there forever? Or do you think that there's a chance that people warm up to the fact that this could potentially be a good thing?
I think it'll sway some people, but I think you're always going to have people that are always going to try and find the negatives in something, right? So the fact that it's Elon Musk is already going to add some type of negatives to it because, you know, it's Elon Musk, or yeah,
the number one troll.
You know what I mean? And then Bitcoin is unfamiliar to so many people, and instead of, you know, choosing to read or do some research, people are just going to go, like you said, based off the headlines of their favorite news networks or their favorite journalists. and just have a preconceived thought about what Bitcoin does to the environment, when like it can be used for some good. And if you can produce 100% energy, clean energy, why wouldn't you try and pursue that? So, I mean, that's
Yeah.
just my thoughts.
It's crazy to me that Elon Musk, like, I don't know, was it 2020 that he tweeted like, yo, Bitcoin is bad for whatever, the energy crisis, whatever. He tweeted that. But this man behind the backs is working on how to fix the problem. And that is a G right there. Because for him to buy into Twitter or whatever, and then, partner up with his company, with a company that's in the blockchain space, and you're solving the problem that you said was an issue, like, bro, like that's just A1, like real G's moving lasagna. Real G's moving silence like lasagna. I messed that line up, but that's what my man was doing. And I think that's just crazy. But to answer your question, yes, people are always going to have negative things to say, but this is really important because you have Tesla, which is one of the biggest companies, going into a space. We talked about ExxonMobil before in a video. Like, these are huge companies who design things around energy, are going into Bitcoin mining. Not only one is that, like, just wherever the big money goes, is that's where the smart people are going. But two, we're going to be learning about these, like, young kids are going to be learning about companies like this and how they change the space of energy, and how, like, this is going to change how we move forward as a society. So,
yo, that's exactly right.
Old people, no diss to you guys, but you guys might be on the oil. You guys might be on the oil and the plastics and the things that are destroying the planet. But the young kids are going to be coming up learning about, like, Elon Musk try to solve renewable energy, like Tesla, Nikola Tesla. Like, come on.
Yo, take this in. So now the groundwork is laid. Let me hit you with the actual punchline, though. Okay.
That wasn't it?
No, listen, Jack Dorsey is very adamant about distributing the hash power of the Bitcoin network. Okay. Hash power is, it's the strength. It's a measure of how much strength a computer has that's, doing work on the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain to like basically
It's like the amount of power it takes to, like, mine the Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's this amount of power it takes to mine the Bitcoin and secure the chain, right? So they believe that it's better that it could be distributed, and it'd be wicked if people could do it at home. Okay. The reason why more people don't mine at home is because the energy that you get at your house is pretty damn expensive. One way to subsidize the energy that you get at home would be to put photovoltaic lenses, aka solar panels, on your rooftop, right? But solar panels are damn expensive to put on your rooftop until like 5 years or so after you've had them and they start to pay themselves off. One thing that you can do with that energy is you can, if you have excess, store it in a battery. And if you have excess past that, you can sell it back to the grid. Okay. Photovoltaic lenses, solar panels, they're not perfect because there's not always sun. So sometimes they do great, sometimes they don't, which is why you need to have great battery technology in order for solar panels to catch on as a common technology. But like I just said, you can use Bitcoin mining to bootstrap these green energy sources while they're becoming profitable. So I said, like, it takes the average solar panel like 5 years or so to be paid off by the energy you save with it, or the money you spend on energy to be saved with it. What if Jack Dorsey from Square teams up with Intel? They find a way to make a smaller, more compact version of a Bitcoin mining ASIC that people can put inside of their houses, that maybe it doesn't have the same crazy hash power as the ones that they're running in these industrial factories, but it has enough hash power to bootstrap the energy creation that we do at our own houses when we put solar panels on our houses. And then it makes it feasible for people to mine Bitcoin and to have solar energy powering their own houses to reduce the overall strain on the grid. Another reason why Bitcoin mining is so good for the environment is because, think about it, if there's heat and everybody turns on the AC at the same time and the energy demand goes up, you can just flip your ASIC off. It's not like, some kind of factory where you got all kinds of conveyor belts and stuff going. You just flick a switch, turns off. Okay, the demand for energy is down again. Let me flip my ASIC back up. So I'm saying Bitcoin mining ASICs could potentially be the catalyst that helps us get from where we're super energy dependent on oil and gas. We saw what happened when Russia was like, yo, I'm holding all the barrels, fam. You're not getting this. I don't care how where you got to drive cross country. I'm holding the barrels, fam. Give me the rubles. I want the rubles. Okay. And the gas price went straight up through the roof. We need to have more energy independence, and that's going to come through a diverse energy mix. And if we could all get solar on our house and mine Bitcoin at the same time, damn it, I think that's a good idea.
My question is, what's it gonna take for that to happen, as far as like a lot of the corporations that depend on that money? You know what I mean? I feel
They're
like
going to fight it.
oh my God, it's gonna be bad. You know what I mean? They're not just gonna be like, oh, okay, we're going solar power. They're gonna be like, no, we need oil. We need gas. Like this is not going anywhere. It's like when people still run off of like, oh, we need coal. It's like, I mean,
Well,
I guess. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with like, as they've developed new forms of energy, the new forms of energy are less dense than the previous forms of energy that we've used. So like anything that you can combust is going to be produce more energy per gram of whatever than whatever is more efficient. So it takes a whole lot more solar energy to create the same amount of electricity as combusting, oil, natural gas, whatever, coal even. So we don't necessarily get rid of the old forms of energy that we use. We just stack on top of them because as human beings, our existence is dependent on energy. So I think as civilization grows, urban sprawl, meaning like the cities continue to expand and we go to the suburbs and build those cities up and then go to the other suburbs and build those up. As that happens, we're going to need more and more and more and more and more energy, especially because everything runs on technology, man. Everything plugs in. Everything plugs in. So, I think the same way how people have revisited the idea of growing their own food, I see communities that set up independent grids. I see that as something that forms and where people build their own neighborhoods that are completely independent, and maybe they sell some energy back to the main grid. It's going to take the right politicians getting in line with it, but we all know that if the incentives are there, the politicians will do it because they're just doing whatever it takes to get votes. You see every politician raising their hand saying I'm for Bitcoin these days. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just trying to get in the office and they realize that Bitcoin is a popular vote. So you're right. There's going to be lobbyists fighting tooth and nail, but as Tesla develops that battery technology to be cheaper and to last longer, and as the semiconductors that go into the Bitcoin mining ASICs get better, I think we're going to see a distribution of the hash rate. I think we're going to see cheaper photovoltaic lenses, aka solar panels, and I think we're going to see at-home mining powered by renewable energy within the next, 3 to 5 years.
Is there a chance we ever see a phone miner or something as small as a phone?
Boy, that phone gonna have to be damn. Have you ever heard of Bitcoin mining ASIC? It sounds like a jet engine landing.
I bet, but I'm saying like as far as like technology as it becomes more advanced, like do you think we'll ever see anything like that?
I mean, ever is a long time, but I think you're more likely to see maybe if you had like a space heater in your house, or you had a microwave, or you have like an exercise bike or something that does take a substantial amount of energy that also doubles as some kind of Bitcoin mining ASIC in some form, shape, or other, where like you're gonna get, you're gonna be getting some cents on it or breaking even on the energy or whatever it may be. But the point of proof of work is that like you gotta expend energy because it's what ties the digital world and the physical world together, and that way you can't do a fraud on the Bitcoin network without spending something from the real tangible world, which is energy. And that's why proof of work is so important to securing the network. You need to spend that energy. You need to spend that electricity.
I like that idea though. I like that idea of just like what Jack Dorsey's trying to do. It kind of reminds me of Steve Jobs with the computer and bringing that to just everybody, every home and everybody. Like I like that idea of distributing power to the smaller people and not letting it just accumulate at the top. I like that. That's gonna be huge. And you say 3 to 5 years? That's very soon.
Well, yeah, man. Think about how quickly things move. Right now, they have ASICs that you can get that go submerged in this fluid where they're quieter because they're underwater. They don't get as hot because the fluid that's running around them, it pumps in and out, and it's like coolant. And then so because the ASIC is running in a coolant, it could actually be overclocked, and you can get like 125% of the power that you would normally get if it wasn't running inside of this liquid. So, I mean, little innovations like that are happening all the time. Plus, the size and the speed of semiconductors tends to grow exponentially. You know what I mean? So every, it used to be like every 10 years, the amount of connections on a semiconductor doubled. And then it was like every 5 years, and it was like every 2 years, and then it was like every 8 months. And so computer chip technology doesn't grow linearly. There's some law for that. I mean, I ain't read enough books to tell you off the top of my head.
Just pick this up. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's all
you got your blurred
out
background, and it looks like
but it's a Ryzen. It's a Ryzen. There we go. Put it right next to my face. The Ryzen 9, bro. When you talk about semiconductors, this is a CPU. When you're talking about semiconductors, it's a CPU, and like these bad boys have been getting like way more powerful like every single year. So like, yeah, like imagine all of that. Now Intel is gonna bring all that power into Bitcoin mining. Like they've been in the space, so
right. And so, I'll just give you this one last piece of game. So you said that's a CPU, a central processing unit. Okay, so when Bitcoin first came out, you used to be able to mine it with a CPU. And then as more people joined the network and started mining Bitcoin, they have this thing that's built into the protocol that's called a difficulty adjustment. Okay. And so based on the amount of hash power on the network, every 2 weeks or every, I believe, like 2016 blocks or whatever it is, the protocol assesses how much hashing power is on the network, and then it adjusts the difficulty of the quote unquote mathematical equation that these computers are solving. So more hash power, it's like, oh, okay, there's a lot more computers and a lot smarter computers that could work faster and go through more numbers quicker. In order to keep the block time at 10 minutes, let's make this more difficult. So then more hash power came on, and then they made it more difficult, more hash power, more difficult, to the point where people are like, all right, we're not mining with CPUs no more. We're mining with GPUs. So then they started GPU mining. That's what they do now with Ethereum. They use GPUs. There's some intense GPUs now, let me tell you. And they also use ASICs, but they use GPUs. Same thing. Algorithm started turning up that difficulty every 2 weeks, until the point where people got these things that were application specific integrated circuits, which is a super technical name for a semiconductor, a computer chip that only does one function. It literally does one function. You cannot run MS Paint on that bad boy. It only mines Bitcoin, and that's it. It's like they strapped on a Ferrari engine to a computer and said, find the sats. That's it. And so now the difficulty rating, if you look at a chart, it's just up, because instead of adding CPUs to the network, people were adding ASICs. And then the ASICs evolve, right? And they get better and they get more efficient, and they run on less energy, and they do more hashes per second, right? And now there's literally trillions of hashes that are happening all across the world per second, searching for these numbers that allow people to mine and earn the Bitcoin. So the ASICs, the technology is going to continue to improve, man. I think it's going to be something where we're going to have it in our house. We're going to have one right on your table. It's probably going to be loud as hell. But
I would have one.
I would have one too.
I feel like it won't be loud as hell. Like I think that will be solved. If it's going to be in the home and people are going to buy it, that's going to be solved. Because if you want consumers to buy it, can't be loud. Like think about laptops. Laptops used to be hella loud. That's why you just say like, yo, let me just get a desktop. If it's going to be loud, I have more power and a desktop. But now laptops are quiet as hell. You can't even hear them. And that's also thanks to Steve Jobs. So,
yo, JB, do you not own an ASIC?
No,
Oh, I thought you had on Compass.
no. I have a no, I don't. I thought you were talking about the PC that I'm on right now.
No, I thought you did that Compass mining joint.
That's Dom.
Shout out to Dom. Shout out to
Yeah.
Vino.
I think he has a couple actually.
Yeah, they're like, and they used to be like 7 racks, but as the price of Bitcoin goes up, so does the price of the equipment that mines Bitcoin. So I think right now they're running somewhere around like 10 to 12 grand US.
Yeah, I looked into one, yo. I was just like interested, and I looked at him, and you don't even have to bring it to your crib. I was like, that was cool. You just buy it and they set it up at their whatever farm it's at. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you just pay for like the security basically. And then it like just pays itself off over time. So
Crazy.
Yeah,
pretty dope. But I think anybody who believes in Bitcoin, believes in renewable energy, I feel like it's a no-brainer. So like when they do come out with this stuff, I'm definitely gonna look into it. Seems like a good investment to me, not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Hey, can I give you one more piece of game? I know I'm running on my time, but look,
Please do.
your thing, bro.
look, so everybody knows that blockchains, it's well, not everybody doesn't know everything. So I take that back. I apologize. Okay, so what a blockchain is a database to store information, right? And it mainly stores financial transactions, or it stores data mainly about transfers of little bits, right? Like, Jimmy sent Boogie this much and Courtney sent Jimmy this much. That's what the blockchain holds. Sometimes those transactions are NFTs, sometimes it's Bitcoin, whatever. A lot of people love the fact that there's these chains that have near zero fees, right? But what that does is when you have near zero fees, you allow people to send a lot of transactions. Okay. If it costs me a lot of money, I'm going to do less transactions. If it's free, I can do unlimited transactions. What am I talking about? Now, let me go back to this news that broke. Elon Musk recently bought 9% of Twitter. Okay. That's not the main story, but it's important to talk about spam because we all know that Twitter is overrun with an insane amount of spam. The bots or jump in your, if you mention MetaMask,
They working.
Jeez.
they
The
will
bots
eat you
working.
alive if you ask if anybody knows a graphic designer.
Oh my god.
They will destroy you if you put hashtag Bitcoin. Okay. So Twitter has a bot problem. And the reason why Twitter has a bot problem is because it is free to send a message. Okay. This is the same thing that we see on Polygon. Polygon is a network where you pretty much have more or less free transactions, but that's why we see so much spam there. Is because people can send stuff without any cost. So a network like Bitcoin doesn't really have as much of that as an issue because it's something that it costs to actually transact on that blockchain. So using what we know about blockchains, how can we make Twitter a better experience? I think that, and this is an idea that came from Michael Saylor and was recently echoed by Elon when he took over. If Twitter Blue, which is like their $3 a month subscription or something like that, gave you a different type of verification, like maybe there's like the I'm a celebrity verification, and then there's a verification that's like I'm actually human. If signing up for Twitter Blue gave you some kind of verification to let you know that you were actually human and you paid like $3 a month, but that $3 a month made it so that like certain accounts that were not verified just couldn't interact with you. Yeah, I feel like that
Sign me up.
That potentially could save the entire Twitter experience because most of the time, I'd say 50% of the time when I get a notification that somebody mentioned me, it's a bot.
There's like 20 other people.
Yeah, it'll be just a list of names.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
You know what I'm saying? And they could prevent stuff like that by making it so, if you're not on a verified human account, you can only do so much, right? Whereas if you do have a verified human account, which means that you're paying to use the service, then it's like unlimited. You can send as much transactions as you want because you already paid. But for the people who are free, you would stop them from spamming the same way how blockchains stop users and wallets from spamming the network. If you ever heard about Solana going down, that's because they had events happen where there was a ridiculously high number of transactions trying to go through within like a second. And that caused congestion on the network. And then it was hard for the miners or the validators to catch up to the tip of the chain. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to learn from all the different technology that's around us and apply that. I think we could make that social experience a lot better if there was a way for people to verify that they're human by putting a little money up. I don't know.
A lot of people are getting scammed too. In the NFT space by these fake like accounts that have been hacked, or people even sell their verified accounts. And these people are pretending to be founders of projects, like known projects, co-founders. And people are buying, clicking links from them, buying NFTs, buying tokens, and just getting everything like taken from them. So people are actually on top of it being annoying, being tagged in random things and bots appearing out of the woodwork, people are losing money. And I feel like in the long run, like that's not a good thing for Twitter.
No, that's just my 2 cents though. Elon, if you hear me, make it happen.
I'd be interested to see if people would still pay. The average user would still pay.
I'm paying right now.
I'm also paying.
I can undo tweets
for 20 seconds. most useless thing ever.
It is because you have to tweet and then it's like, oh, and then you got to undo it, and then yeah,
it's useless. But you get to bookmark your stuff into folders. You can't customize the icon of the bookmarks though. It's just like red, blue, magenta, and yellow. Anyways, Twitter needs some work on the UX. Y'all study up and come back to me with what you've done. I want to hear about it, Elon.
To be interesting. I'd be off it. Go somewhere else.
X. You guys got anything else? I forgot to mention Genies. I'm always going to drop Genies Alpha whenever I can. Genies just raised another 150 million to contribute to the user experience and being able to provide tools to users that are, say, like myself, beginners with 3D animations and customizing your online identity, which is what I think that they're going towards. And I think they're also putting money towards like online experiences as well. So Genies is another metaverse experience to look out for. They're
put in my application.
Yes, Jimmy, you need to as well. So we can be doing this. We could be doing this with our Genies.
Man, I'll look into it.
He peer pressured me. I did it. They asked you 1,000 questions, but I'm like, you know what? This isn't anything that Google doesn't already know.
Big facts. What is it? Where do I go? Genie.com or something?
You gotta go to their Discord.
Oh, okay. You gotta send me the link to the Discord, bro.
Yeah, I got you.
Jump in there.
Yeah, so for anybody who's listening, where do you go? Where did you go, Cordy? Did they make a different
I'm not gonna lie, I had to look around a little bit. But
yeah, they don't make it too easy.
Hey, that's good.
I can't even tell you straight up off the top of my
bots.
head. Less bots.
For real though.
All right, y'all.
But yeah,
you guys got any last things? We'll just end on this because this is just funny. But I heard Facebook is trying to start a Zuckbuck, an in-app coin.
That's a no for me, dog.
Anytime Meta announces something, it's just a L. It's just like, bro, just die already. Like, just Facebook, just die already.
I also saw that they're trying to start their own marketplace, kind of like OpenSea, and they're charging creators in the marketplace 47%.
Yeah, they want to bring NFTs to Instagram and Facebook and allow creators to sell their NFT art through Facebook.
Do they not know that people complain about a 5%?
No, this is not true. 47%.
That's what I was seeing.
Who has ever given anybody 47% if they weren't the government?
Yo, but I mean, Twitch does that. Twitch has 50% of subs from streamers. YouTube takes about 40%, I believe.
We love you, YouTube.
Yeah, we're still gonna be here creating content.
This video.
No. So a lot of these platforms do this, and I think what Facebook is trying to do is just really just monetize that. Like whoever just wants an easy plug and play, upload your JPEG to the Facebook and sell it, we'll take 50% of that. That's pretty much what they're trying to do.
I'm out. I'm not doing it.
Anything Meta announces is just an L every time I hear it.
I'm off it. I'm not doing it.
I feel like it just kind of shows like how out of touch they are, and they're just like, we want money. We want more money.
They're vultures.
Yeah.
They're scavengers.
Terrible.
All right, y'all. That's it. That's it for tonight, y'all. That's it for tonight. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us over on Twitter, New School Degens, Professor Sticks.
Join the Discord, man. Join the Discord. We're constantly throwing in educational information in there and just chopping it up and having fun doing what Degens do. You know what I mean?
Slight alpha.
It's a little bit. But like Jimmy said, follow us on Twitter. I'm Jay Breskison11, Professor Sticks, the C Steven, and we're out.
Oh, man, is you drinking coffee at that? I'm trolling. We out. Water. Peace.